The massive screen in Earth Defense Command's control center lit up with another alert. Admiral James Stone rubbed his tired eyes, marking the 15th deep space expedition that had gone dark in the past decade. Something wasn't right, and he knew it. "Sir, the quantum telescope array has picked up something unusual," said Tom Miller, the lead scientist. His fingers moved quickly across the holographic display, bringing up a series of strange energy readings. Admiral Stone walked closer to the main screen, his weathered face reflecting the blue glow of the data streams. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of computers and the occasional beep of monitoring equipment. "Show me everything," Stone ordered, his voice firm but calm. He had spent 30 years preparing for moments like this. Tom pulled up a three-dimensional map of the solar system. Red dots began appearing one by one, forming a pattern that made Stone's heart race. These weren't random signals. They were observation posts, carefully hidden but now visible thanks to Earth's latest quantum detection technology. "They're everywhere," Tom whispered, pointing at the screen. "Behind Mars, near Venus, scattered through the asteroid belt. Some of these stations look like they've been there for hundreds of years." Stone's mind raced back to all the mysterious disappearances, the strange signals, and the unexplained phenomena that Earth's space programs had encountered over the decades. It all made sense now. They had never been alone. They had been watched, studied, and tested. Walking to his private office, Stone activated the secure communication system. "Get me the World Security Council. Priority Alpha," he commanded. Within minutes, the faces of 12 leaders appeared on his screen, representing Earth's unified government. "Ladies and gentlemen," Stone began, "what I'm about to show you confirms our worst fears." He shared the data from the quantum telescopes. The council members' expressions turned grave as they understood the implications. "How long have they been watching us?" asked the council president, her voice steady despite the shocking revelation. "Based on the age of some of these observation posts, at least 300 years, Stone replied. "They've seen everything. Our wars, our technological advancement, our space exploration attempts. They'd probably know more about us than we realize." But Stone had a slight smile on his face, which confused the council members. "However," he continued, "they don't know about Project Shadow Shield. They don't know that we've been watching them watch us for the past 20 years. The room fell silent. Project Shadow Shield had been humanity's greatest secret, a massive technological advancement program hidden from even most of Earth's population. While the world appeared to struggle with basic space travel, underground facilities around the globe had developed technologies that would seem like magic to most people. The disappearances of our deep space missions, Stone explained, they weren't failures. They were tests. We sent them out knowing they might encounter alien technology. Each loss taught us something new, helped us develop better defenses, better detection systems." Stone pulled up another map, this one showing hundreds of small green dots scattered throughout the solar system, Earth's own hidden surveillance network. "We've been playing a long game, council members. While they think they're watching a young, struggling species, we've been gathering intelligence on their capabilities." The council president leaned forward. "Are we ready, Admiral? If they decide to make their move?" Stone nodded slowly. "More than ready. Our quantum shielding can stop any weapon we've detected in their arsenals. Our own ships, hidden in underground bases on Mars and the Moon, can match or exceed their capabilities. We've spent 50 years preparing for this moment." Looking at the red dots representing alien observation posts, Stone felt a mix of pride and determination. Humanity had turned its greatest weakness, paranoia and fear of the unknown, into its greatest strength. They had prepared for the worst while hoping for the best. "Send the order," the council president commanded. "Initiate Phase 2 of Project Shadow Shield. It's time to let our watchers know that we see them." As Stone left the meeting, he looked out the window at the seemingly peaceful Earth below. Soon, very soon, The aliens watching from the shadows would learn that humanity wasn't the easy target they thought it would be. They would learn that sometimes the prey was actually the predator in disguise. The game was about to begin, and humanity was ready to play. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Colonel Emily White walked through a massive underground hangar. Above ground, it looked like nothing more than an old military storage facility. Below, it housed humanity's greatest technological achievements. "Power up the prototype," she ordered, watching as lights flickered to life along the hull of a massive spacecraft. Unlike the clunky rockets that Earth showed to the world, this vessel was sleek, almost beautiful in its design. Its dark metal surface seemed to drink in the light around it. "Quantum core stable at 100%, reported David West, the lead engineer. He stood at a control panel, monitoring dozens of readings. "Dark matter containment is holding perfectly." Emily allowed herself a small smile. 10 years ago, the world thought dark matter was just a theory. Now they were using it to power warships. The aliens watching Earth probably thought humans were still struggling with nuclear fusion. "Show me the weapons systems," she commanded. A holographic display appeared, showing rows of advanced weaponry that would make most sci-fi writers jealous. But these weren't fiction. They were very real and very deadly. "The consciousness transfer system is our newest addition," David explained, pointing to a strange device near the ship's core. "If the ship is destroyed, it can instantly transfer the crew's minds to backup bodies on Earth. No one dies anymore. Not really." Emily remembered when they first tested the system. The aliens had watched one of their failed missions, probably laughing at the primitive humans who couldn't even keep their astronauts alive. They didn't know those astronauts were now teaching others, their memories and experiences intact despite their apparent deaths. A message flashed on her screen. "Priority alert from Earth Defense Command." Admiral Stone's face appeared on the display. "Colonel, it's time," he said simply. "Our watchers are about to make their move. Begin Phase 2. Emily nodded, then turned to her team. "Activate all hidden facilities. Bring everything online." Across the solar system, humanity's true power began to wake up. On Mars, massive doors opened in the side of seemingly empty craters, revealing shipyards that had been hidden for decades. Inside the Moon, weapons platforms that had been disguised as natural formations powered up their systems. "Sir," one of her officers called out, "the quantum net is active. We're reading 37 alien observation posts in our solar system. All of them are transmitting data back to their fleet." Emily walked to a large window overlooking the underground chamber. Hundreds of engineers and soldiers moved with purpose, preparing the ships and weapons they had spent years building in secret. Each person here had sworn an oath of absolute secrecy, knowing their work could mean the difference between humanity's survival and extinction. "Status report on the Phoenix Protocol," she demanded. "All systems green," David responded. "The neural network is online, linking all our defense systems. If they attack any part of Earth, the entire defense grid will respond instantly. No delays, no confusion, just pure coordinated action." That was humanity's real advantage. While their watchers thought they were observing a divided, chaotic species, humans had quietly united under the Phoenix Protocol. Every nation had contributed their best minds and resources to the project, setting aside old rivalries in the face of a greater threat. "Colonel," another officer called out, "we're detecting movement. The alien fleet is changing position. They're preparing for something big." Emily straightened her uniform. This was what they had prepared for all these years. While the aliens thought they were watching humanity stumble through space, humanity had been preparing for war. Every failed mission, every apparent setback, had been carefully planned to maintain their deception. "Begin powering up the quantum shields," she ordered, "but keep them inactive. Let them think we're still defenseless for now." Looking at the massive ship before her, Emily felt a fierce pride. Humanity had turned its fears into strength, its paranoia into preparation. The aliens thought they were watching humanity's development, but humanity had been studying them right back. "Send word to all bases," she commanded. "The game is about to change. Let's show our visitors why you should never underestimate humans." The hidden arsenal of humanity was ready. Now they just had to wait for the right moment to reveal it. The message came exactly as Earth's leaders had expected. A massive alien ship appeared just beyond Mars' orbit, broadcasting on all frequencies in perfect English. "People of Earth, we come in peace. We are the Collective, a union of advanced civilizations, and we wish to welcome humanity into our galactic family." Admiral Stone watched the message play on the main screen of Earth Defense Command, his face showing no emotion. Behind him, dozens of operators monitored their stations, tracking something the aliens didn't know they could see: a massive cloaked fleet hiding behind Jupiter. "How many ships are they hiding, Tom?" Stone asked quietly. Tom checked his quantum sensors. "Over 300 warships, sir, all powered up and ready for combat. They're using some kind of cloaking technology that they probably think we can't detect." Stone nodded slowly. The Collective's peaceful message was playing on every TV and radio on Earth. To the public, it looked like humanity's first contact with alien life. To Stone and his team, it was the beginning of a carefully planned countermove. "Sir," called out Mary from her station, "the alien diplomatic vessel is requesting permission to land. They want to meet at the United Nations." Stone pressed a button on his console, connecting him to Colonel White's underground base. "Emily, are we ready?" "All systems are go, Admiral," she replied. "Our ships can launch at a moment's notice. The quantum shields can be activated in less than 2 seconds." Stone turned to his communications officer. "Send our response. Tell them we'll meet them on the moon instead. Neutral ground." The alien ship responded quickly, agreeing to the meeting. They probably thought they were being clever, staying close to their hidden fleet. They didn't know that the moon was humanity's strongest fortress. Inside the lunar base, disguised as a small research station, Colonel White prepared the meeting room. To alien sensors, it would look like a simple pressurized chamber. In reality, it was a highly advanced command center with weapons that could cripple an entire fleet. "They're approaching the moon," Tom reported. "Their hidden fleet is moving too, maintaining attack position behind Jupiter. They're being very careful to stay out of range of what they think our sensors can detect." Stone smiled slightly. "Keep monitoring them. Record everything. We'll need proof when we reveal what they really are." The alien diplomatic ship landed on the moon's surface. 3 tall figures in flowing robes emerged, walking towards the human delegation. Their skin was pale blue, their movements graceful. They looked exactly like the kind of advanced, peaceful species that would welcome humanity to the stars. "Welcome to lunar space," Stone said as they entered the meeting room. "I'm Admiral James Stone, Earth Defense Command." The lead alien bowed slightly. "I am High Speaker of the Collective. We have watched your species' development with great interest. Your potential is remarkable." "Yes," Stone replied calmly. "You've been watching us for quite a while, haven't you? From those observation posts you hid around our solar system." The High Speaker's expression didn't change, but Stone saw the slight tensing of its shoulders. They hadn't expected humans to know about the posts. "We maintain scientific observation stations throughout this sector," the alien said smoothly. "It helps us understand developing civilizations." "And the fleet hiding behind Jupiter?" Stone asked casually. "Is that for scientific observation too?" This time, the aliens couldn't hide their shock. The High Speaker's eyes widened, its blue skin turning slightly darker. "I don't know what you mean," it started to say, but Stone cut it off by pressing a button. The room's walls became transparent, showing a perfect holographic image of the hidden fleet. "Let's stop pretending," Stone said firmly. "We know why you're here. We know what you've done to other civilizations, and we know exactly what you were planning to do to Earth." The High Speaker's friendly demeanor vanished. Its eyes turned cold, calculating. "How long have you known?" "Long enough," Stone replied. "Long enough to prepare. long enough to make sure that if you try what you're thinking right now, it will be the last mistake the collective ever makes. The first move had been made. Now it was time to show these would-be conquerors exactly what humanity was capable of. The lunar meeting room fell silent after Stone's declaration. The High Speaker's blue face had turned almost white, but it quickly regained its composure. "You misunderstand our intentions," the alien leader said smoothly. "The fleet is merely a precaution. In our experience, first contact can be unpredictable." Stone touched another button on the table. Holographic images filled the room, showing dozens of destroyed worlds. Each one had been a developing civilization, each one now reduced to ruins. "Planet X-247, Stone said, pointing to one image. "A peaceful civilization that developed faster than light travel 5 years ago. Now it's a mining colony for the collective." He moved to another image. "Planet B-789, discovered fusion power, now a slave world." Another image. "Planet K-321, reached for the stars, now extinct." The other two alien delegates shifted uncomfortably, but the High Speaker remained still. "Where did you get these images?" "From your own observation posts," Stone replied. "The ones you thought we couldn't access. We've been downloading your data for years. We know everything about the collective." Colonel White stepped forward, holding a small device. "This contains proof of 47 civilizations your people have destroyed. 47 species that reached for the stars and found only conquest." The High Speaker's friendly mask finally cracked. Its eyes narrowed, voice turning cold. "If you know so much, then you know resistance is pointless." "Our fleet." "Your fleet is already surrounded," Stone interrupted. The room's view shifted, showing the space around Jupiter. Hundreds of human ships had decloaked, their quantum shields glowing softly. They had been there the whole time, waiting. The alien leader actually took a step back. "Impossible. Your technology level. We've been watching. You saw what we wanted you to see," Colonel White said. "Every failed mission, every primitive rocket, every technological setback, it was all part of the plan. We knew someone was watching, so we gave them a show." Stone stood up, his voice firm but not threatening. "This is humanity's warning to the collective. We are not prey. We are not a primitive species waiting to be conquered. We are not defenseless." He pressed another button, and the room showed Earth's true military might. Hidden bases on Mars opened up, revealing shipyards full of advanced vessels. The moon's surface shifted as weapon platforms emerged from their hiding places. Quantum shields flickered to life around Earth, far more advanced than anything the collective possessed. "Your fleet has exactly 1 hour to leave our solar system," Stone declared. "After that, we will consider your presence an act of war. And trust me, you don't want that." The High Speaker's arrogance had completely vanished. Now it looked afraid. "How? How did you advance so quickly without us knowing?" "Because we're human," Colonel White answered. "We plan for the worst. We prepare for threats. We unite against common enemies. Every nation on Earth contributed to this defense program. While you thought you were watching a divided species, we were working together in secret." Stone walked closer to the alien delegates. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to leave. You're going to tell the collective that Earth is off limits. And then you're going to free those 47 worlds you enslaved." "Or what?" the High Speaker challenged, but its voice trembled slightly. "Or we'll free them ourselves," Stone replied calmly. "And trust me, you don't want humans as enemies. We've spent centuries preparing for this moment. Everything you've seen so far, it's not even 10% of what we can do." The aliens looked at each other, then at the displays showing Earth's true power. Their choice was clear: retreat or face a species that had outmaneuvered them at every turn. 1 hour, Stone reminded them. And spread the word to any other species watching Earth. We're not helpless primitives. We're humanity. We saw you coming, and we got ready. The next species that tries to conquer Earth won't get a warning. As the alien delegates hurry back to their ship, Stone watched the hidden fleet begin to move. Humanity's warning had been delivered. Now it was time to see if the collective was smart enough to listen. The 1-hour deadline was about to expire. Instead of retreating, the collective's hidden fleet had moved into attack formation around Jupiter. Their diplomatic vessel had returned to the fleet, clearly preparing for battle. They're charging weapons, Tom reported from his station at Earth Defense Command. All 300 ships are powering up their main guns. Admiral Stone nodded calmly. They just can't help themselves, can they? Colonel White, deploy the Nighthawk. From a hidden base on Mars' surface, a single ship emerged. It was smaller than the collective's massive warships, its black surface seeming to bend light around it. Colonel White stood on its bridge, watching her crew prepare for humanity's first real space battle. This is their last chance. Stone's voice came through the comm system. Send the final warning. White opened a channel to the alien fleet. Collective forces, this is your final warning. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. The high speaker's voice replied, filled with renewed confidence. You played your game well, humans, but no single ship can stand against our fleet. Surrender now, and we will be merciful. Colonel White smiled slightly. Admiral, they've made their choice. Permission to demonstrate. Granted, Stone replied. Show them what one human ship can do. The Nighthawk accelerated, its quantum drive humming softly. As it approached the alien fleet, the collective ships opened fire. Massive energy beams streaked across space and passed right through where the Nighthawk had been. Quantum displacement drive functioning perfectly, reported David from his engineering station. They can't hit what isn't really there. White nodded. Deploy the neural disruptors. Target their weapon systems only. No casualties. The Nighthawk released hundreds of small drones, each carrying technology that humanity had developed in secret. The drones passed through the collective's shields as if they weren't there, attaching to their ship's hulls. Neural disruptors active, David announced. Their weapons are going dark. Now. Across the collective fleet, gun ports closed and energy weapons powered down. The massive ships floated helplessly, their crews unable to access any offensive systems. The Nighthawk had disabled an entire battle fleet without firing a single shot. This is what true power looks like, White broadcasted to the fleet. We could have destroyed every ship. Instead, we chose to show mercy. Back at Earth Defense Command, Admiral Stone watched the scene with satisfaction. Now for part 2. Show them what happens if they try to power up again. White pressed a button on her command chair. Around each collective ship, quantum fields became visible, trapping them in bubbles of altered space-time. Those fields will collapse if you try to power up your weapons, she explained to the panicked alien fleet. The collapse would tear your ships apart at the atomic level. We don't want that. But the choice is yours. The high speaker's voice had lost all its arrogance when it responded. How did you develop these technologies without us knowing? We learned from watching you, White replied. Every world you conquered taught us something. We saw how you operated, studied your tactics, and developed countermeasures, all while letting you think we were centuries behind. Stone's voice joined the broadcast. This is humanity's true face. We're not conquerors like you. We don't destroy developing civilizations, but we will defend ourselves, and we will protect others from species like yours. The collective ships hung motionless in space, their mighty fleet neutralized by a single human vessel. The message was clear. Humanity could have destroyed them at any time, but chose a better path. You have a new choice, White continued. Leave this solar system and never return. Free the worlds you've enslaved, or face the consequences of making humanity your enemy. One by one, the collective ships began powering down completely, signaling their surrender. The high speaker's voice was barely a whisper when it responded. We will withdraw. The collective admits defeat. As the alien fleet prepared to retreat, Colonel White looked at the stars beyond them. Humanity had just announced its presence to the galaxy in the most powerful way possible, not through destruction, but through superior preparation and restraint. The demonstration was complete. Now the real work would begin. Commander Mark Thompson stood in the ruins of a once great city on planet K-321. His environmental suit protected him from the toxic atmosphere, all that remained after the collective's peaceful integration of this world. "Recording everything, sir," his assistant Robert said, moving a scanner over the crumbling buildings. They were part of the investigation team sent to document the collective's crimes after their surrender to Earth. "How many survivors did you find?" Thompson asked through his suit's comm system. "Less than 1,000, Robert replied sadly. "Hidden in underground bunkers. They'd been down there for 15 years, ever since the collective arrived with their welcome gift, a virus that killed 90% of their population." Thompson clenched his fists. This was the 5th planet they'd investigated, and each one told the same story. The collective's pattern was always the same: find a developing civilization, offer friendship, then strike when their victims least expected it. Back on the human ship orbiting the planet, Admiral Stone and Colonel White watched the investigation through Thompson's helmet camera. The evidence was worse than they had imagined. "Play the survivors' testimony," Stone ordered quietly. A hologram appeared, showing one of the planet's few remaining inhabitants. Its reptilian features were worn with age and hardship, but its eyes still held intelligence and pain. "They came as friends," the survivor spoke through a translator. "Offered us technology, medicine, knowledge. Then one day, their ships appeared everywhere. The virus came first, then the harvesting ships. They took our resources, our technology, even our people. Those who resisted didn't survive." Stone turned to Colonel White. "How many more worlds?" "We've confirmed 47, she replied, checking her datapad. "But we're finding evidence of more. The collective has been doing this for thousands of years. Some species were wiped out so completely that only their ruins remain." In another part of the ship, David worked with alien computer systems they'd captured from the collective fleet. Each new file he decrypted revealed more horrors. "Sir," he called out through the comm, "you need to see this. I found their invasion plans for Earth." The command staff gathered around the main screen. The collective's detailed plans showed how they would have destroyed humanity. First, an engineered virus to weaken the population, then an electromagnetic pulse to disable electronics, and finally their fleet would move in to save the survivors, who would become slaves. "They had it all planned out," David explained. "They were just waiting for us to reach a certain technological level before striking. They thought they had at least 50 more years before we'd be a threat." Thompson's voice came through the comm. "Admiral, we found something else. A message carved into the walls of an underground shelter. It's in multiple languages, including some we've never seen before." The camera showed the wall, covered in different writing systems. The ship's computer translated them all to the same message: "Beware the friends who come from the stars." "Every world they visited tried to warn others," Colonel White said softly. "But no one could hear them. Until now." Stone straightened his uniform. "Prepare a full report. Every detail, every piece of evidence. The galaxy needs to know the truth about the collective." "What about their leadership?" Thompson asked from the planet's surface. "The High Speaker and the others." "They'll face justice," Stone replied firmly. "But not revenge. We're better than they are. We'll show the galaxy a different way." As Thompson's team continued their investigation, Stone looked at the star map, showing all the worlds the collective had destroyed or enslaved. Humanity had stopped them, but the real work was just beginning. "Send word to Earth," he ordered. "Tell them to prepare the relief ships. We're not just here to document crimes. We're here to help survivors rebuild." The truth about the collective was finally exposed. Now humanity had a new mission, not just protecting Earth, but helping heal the wounds these conquerors had left across the galaxy. This was why they had prepared for so long, not just for defense, but for what came after. the responsibility of being the true guardian species. 6 months after the collective's surrender, Admiral Stone stood on the observation deck of Earth's new space station. Through the massive windows, he could see ships from a dozen different alien species, all survivors of the collective's attacks, now working together under humanity's protection. The relief mission to planet K-321 is complete, Colonel White reported, joining him at the window. Their atmosphere is clean again, and the survivors are rebuilding their cities. They sent this for you. She handed him a small crystal, a traditional gift from their people. Inside it, light danced in patterns that meant gratitude in their language. How many worlds have we helped so far? Stone asked, watching a massive medical ship prepare to jump to another system. 32 restored, 15 more in progress, White replied. The quantum regeneration technology is working better than we hoped. Dead worlds are coming back to life. Through another window, they could see the collective's former leaders working alongside human scientists. After their surrender, they had been given a choice: help repair the damage they had caused, or face imprisonment. Most chose to help. Commander Thompson's report from the outer sectors. White continued, checking her datapad. 3 more developing civilizations discovered, all at the early spaceflight stage. We've established quiet observation posts to protect them. Stone smiled slightly. And this time, the Watchers are guardians, not hunters. The station's main screen lit up, showing a live feed from planet B789, where ruins had stood 6 months ago. A new city rose into purple skies. Its people, once enslaved in mines, were free again. Human teachers worked alongside their scientists, sharing knowledge while being careful not to overwhelm their natural development. The Galactic Council meeting starts in 10 minutes, White reminded him. Another change. Instead of conquerors telling others what to do, the freed worlds were creating their own leadership structure, with Earth as just one voice among many. Stone nodded and began walking to the meeting room. Along the way, he passed training areas where soldiers from different species learned to work together. Earth's advanced technology was being shared carefully, but their main gift was teaching others how to defend themselves. In the great meeting hall, representatives from 47 freed worlds sat together. Some were ancient species who had been enslaved for centuries. Others were younger civilizations saved just in time. All of them were free now. The defensive network is complete, David reported to the assembly. Any aggressive fleet entering the protected sectors will be detected immediately. No one will be able to hurt developing worlds again. Stone took his place at the round table, specially designed so no seat was higher than another. The High Speaker, now working to undo its people's damage, sat quietly among the others. We've detected 3 new spacefaring civilizations reaching for the stars, Stone announced to the council. Our task is to make sure they find friendship waiting for them, not conquest. To show them that the galaxy can be a place of hope, not fear. A representative from one of the oldest freed worlds stood up. Its crystalline form sparkled as it spoke. Thanks to humanity, we are all guardians now. We will not fail this trust. Stone looked around the room at all the different species working together. This was humanity's greatest victory, not the defeat of the collective, but the creation of something better in its place. Remember, he said to the assembly, we watch, we protect, but we do not interfere. Every species must find its own path to the stars. Our job is to make sure they have that chance. As the meeting continued, Stone thought about how far it had come. Humanity had prepared for war, but found a greater purpose, teaching the galaxy how to protect itself. Their warning to the collective had become a promise to all peaceful species. You are not alone. You are not defenseless. You are under protection. The stars were safer now, and humanity had found its true place among them, not as conquerors, not as victims, but as guardians of a better future for all. The end.